Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? This is Richie from Knicks Media, and in this video, I want to talk about all the quotes we got from the New York Knicks, because today was indeed Media Day. We got Derrick Rose, Kemba Walker, RJ, Julius, Evan Fournier, all talking to the media. We see the new jerseys that they're wearing, a new Nike check, a new Squarespace logo, which seems to be a little too big for my liking, and I know you guys might agree with that statement. But yeah, guys, the Knicks are back. Training camp begins this week. Preseason is next week, and the season opener is like in 23 days. It's pretty insane how quickly this Knicks season is coming. I'm really excited for this season to finally start, and I'm also really excited to get into Knicks Media consistent content because it's been too long. The offseason was really long for me, and as you guys know, I have a lot of other YouTube channels that I've been balancing. Jets Media. I also have a channel all about the NFL, Touchdown Kingdom. I also have a YouTube channel about basketball in terms of the NBA, and that's called Basketball Kingdom. There's only 5 videos over there, but if you guys want to go down and hit that subscribe button for my other NBA YouTube channel, I'm going to put into a lot of energy into that leading into the season. Going to be all about the NBA, so check that out. And I also have a channel about the Mets. So as you guys can see, I have a lot of channels to balance, and now it's going to be full throttle Knicks Media content. Because why? Like I just said, the Knicks are back. Training camp is this week, so expect a lot of content. If you guys are not subscribed to Knicks Media, make sure you do so. Make sure you smash that like button as well. And if you want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, that is at nyknicks_media. Now let's get right into this video. I basically just want to talk about some of the quotes that we got from the guys, what I took away from the most from all the press conferences that we got today from the Knicks at Media Day. So starting off with Derrick Rose, he spoke to the media, and I love everything that I heard from Derrick Rose. He had a funny story saying that he broke his phone, and he was, did not have a phone for 3 months, and he was disconnected from everything, and he let his agent take care of everything, and he let his agent, make a decision on that he wanted to re-sign with the Knicks. Obviously, D Rose told his agent that if the Knicks make an offer, I want to be back with New York, and that's what happened. And he just really disconnected, and he really put his family first. Awesome to hear that from Derrick Rose. And then he also brought up that Kemba Walker is going to be the starting point guard. He said, I think somebody asked Derrick Rose, well, what are you going to do about you and Kemba Walker? Who's going to be starter? And he said right away, Kemba Walker's a starter, man. This is his time. This is his time to shine. He is the homegrown, the hometown hero right now. And I have no issues backing up Kemba Walker, and I'm really excited to be with him. They were high school enemies. They actually versed each other at Madison Square Garden. Kemba Walker beat him, I'm pretty sure. So it's awesome to see D Rose just pass the torch over to Kemba Walker. He has no problem with, him being a backup behind him. And I know a lot of people were, wondering who's going to start at the point guard. Is it Kemba or D Rose? I think we got our answer. And then another cool quote that I got from D Rose, about the team in general is, our staple is defense. We got better on offense, and we should shoot around 37 to 40 attempts from 3 this season. So what I took away from this quote is he obviously understands that the defense is the number 1 priority with Tom Thibodeau, but based on the acquisitions we got, Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, now we're better at shooting the ball. We're going to be a better offensive team. We shot 33s from 3 last year, as D Rose mentioned. He expects this team to start shooting the ball a lot more from 3. So that's pretty interesting. You know that the Knicks are going to be, trying to adapt to today's NBA. They did a really good job shooting the ball from downtown last year. So now that we add guys like Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, because remember, those 2 guys can create their own shot, and they are shooters. So it's going to be interesting to see, and it's also cool to hear that Derrick Rose expects this team to start shooting more 3s from downtown. And if that's the case and they start hitting them at a high level, watch out, because we know the staple of this team is the defense, and I feel like it's going to be a fun year with Derrick Rose on the helm. So now let's get into some Kemba Walker quotes and what I took away from the most from Kemba. It's just awesome to see him. We saw that cool video of RJ leaving the podium, and then he sees Kemba. He's like, uh-oh, Mr. New York is coming. It's just cool to see the energy with all these guys. But Kemba Walker, his first quote was, I'm home. I'm from here, born and raised, and it feels like it. Like, he's embracing that feeling of being the hometown hero, and we're really excited for it. Knicks fans, when Kemba Walker goes out there and gets his first introduction at the Garden, it's going to be electric. It's going to be like, that's what a dream, that is just like a dream scenario. Like all the kids growing up in New York and the city and the Bronx like Kemba, and Manhattan and the Queens and all these places, they're growing up, and their dream is to play at Madison Square Garden for the New York Knicks. And Kemba Walker obviously had a very long career with Charlotte and then Boston and then everywhere he's been, but now he's home. And that there's a chip on Kemba Walker's shoulder, so I'm happy that he embraced that feeling. He's not just saying like, yeah, I'm home, it's cool, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. He's making it a big deal. He feels the energy from the city. He feels the energy from our fan base, really excited for Kemba Walker to represent his hometown, New York City. And he also said something which was awesome. Derrick Rose was one of the reasons why I came here. So Derrick Rose had a big impact on Kemba Walker deciding to come to the Knicks. He obviously has been a very big fan of Derrick Rose from afar. He mentioned that D-Rose is a former MVP. I cannot wait to go out there and watch how he goes about his business. How does he take care of his body? He's going to take a lot of things away from Derrick Rose. So Rose is not only going to be mentoring the young guys, but he's going to be mentoring even Kemba. And obviously Kemba's an established veteran. He's not going to be mentoring him. But Kemba Walker said he's excited to see how Derrick Rose goes about, and he's super excited to be teammates with Derrick Rose. Now let's get into some RJ Barrett and what I took away from his press conference. The biggest takeaway I have is at the end of the conference, I forgot who asked him the question, but I think it's Ian Begley from SNY. They mentioned that Reggie Bullock was, the guy in the Knicks last year that was, his job was to guard and follow the best player on the other team. That was Reggie Bullock's job. He did a great job doing it. Now that Reggie Bullock is gone, who's going to be that guy on the defensive side of the ball for the Knicks that's going to step up to the challenge to verse and guard the best player? And RJ Barrett wants to be that guy. Here's a quote from RJ. Being a two-way player is something I always strive for. It's how I want to be known, and I cannot wait to take on the challenge of guarding the best, player in front of me if that's what the coaching staff wants me to do. So obviously RJ Barrett, we know that he took a huge step last year offensively, but I feel like his defensive ability last year was one of the most underrated parts to RJ Barrett's game because he stepped up. He versed Kawhi Leonard at that game. He looked so good defending him. He's only going to evolve his game as a defender under Coach Thibodeau each year. And if RJ can become that guy we can rely on to, play defense against the number one guy and not necessarily lock him down, because that's borderline impossible, especially when your job is to go up against the best offensive weapon on the other team. But if RJ can take a huge step and become an established two-way wing, oh my gosh, that's so big, because I feel like Knicks fans understand how much potential he has offensively when it comes to shooting the ball, and now that we see him, working on a shot, playmaking-wise, shot creation-wise. I made a whole video on that. But if he can really evolve his game to become a very good two-way player, woo, watch out. And hopefully RJ Barrett can really become that. That's something that he is in his mind, and we know that he has a work ethic in order to strive to become a two-way player. Now let's get into some Julius Randle quotes, what I got from him. They asked him, what do you want to improve on? What's something that you worked on this offseason when it comes to building upon last year? And this quote says, I want to be playing faster, making quick decisions, continuing to make the game easier. So obviously Julius Randle, there's not too much he needs to work on in terms of his shooting, because it was on another level last year. That's all he needs to do. And obviously he worked on his shooting all throughout the off season. But what he wanted to work on in terms of his weaknesses, playing faster, making quick decisions, and he knows that was his biggest problem in the playoffs. And he got asked about that. What is your biggest thing that you learned from against the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs? He said, I overcomplicated things against the Hawks. So he understands that he really felt like there was a lot of things he needed to worry about, and obviously he was not comfortable in the Hawks series, and that's something he's going to learn on. And that's what he means by making quick decisions, because if you rewatch all the games against the Hawks in the playoffs, you see Julius Randle indecisive with the ball, not knowing where to go with it. The double teams got to his head. He was thinking too much. He wasn't letting the game come to him, and I feel like that's what he's trying to do this offseason. Simplify the game, make the game come easy to me, and just play quick, play fast. And I feel like if he can, really establish that mentality of everything just coming so naturally to him, that's what separates the great and good players. Everybody's physically talented in this league. The one that separates the good and great is the mindset and the ability to, just be on the floor and not overcomplicate things and don't think too much and, act on instinct. And if he can do that, watch out, because Julius is going to take another step this year. I really believe that, especially seeing what the type of shape he's in right now, especially seeing what he did last year and seeing what we brought in with Kemba Walker Walker and Evan Fournier. That's only going to help him out because a lot of defenses are going to be, not worried about just Julius. They're going to be worried about them and also year 3 RJ Barrett. Now let's get into the last player I want to talk about. It's Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier is a really interesting player. I'm so excited to see what he can do with the Knicks. His personality is awesome. You see him making some jokes with the media, saying he can kick their ass because he brought up, his background. But man, what stood out to me the most was when they asked about him, why he chose the Knicks in free agency. He said it was an easy decision, to be honest. So that's really interesting because around the NBA, I think the Knicks, narratively speaking, are now looked at as an organization that people want to go to. And Evan Fournier, for him to openly say, it was really easy to pick the Knicks. They have everything going in the right way. They have an established coach, winning coach of the year. He didn't say this in the press conference. I'm just saying probably what he's thinking and what other people around the league are thinking about the Knicks. Like, we are not a joke franchise anymore. Obviously, we only have one season of making the playoffs, and hopefully this year we'll make the playoffs again, which I think we will. But it's awesome that Evan Fournier came to the Knicks because he loves the culture here. He likes the vibe. He likes the players. And I'm really excited to see what Evan Fournier can do with the New York Knicks. So that's really my thoughts about Knicks Media Day. I got a lot of quotes. I want to talk about everything that we took away. To finish off, let's talk about those jerseys real quick because, I don't know. The Squarespace logo is a little too big, but that's the future of this world, guys. The advertisements and the logos and all this stuff, it's only going to get more and more profound. So that's unfortunate. I do like the new Nike logo. If you guys notice on their jerseys, it's kind of like different. It's like a white-ish fade logo. It's not like a blue check. Well, that's pretty cool. But yeah, man, that's really my thoughts of the media day from the Knicks. Leave a comment down below your thoughts of something that you took away from the most of some of these quotes. Like the video if you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more Knicks content, baby. Knicks season is back. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.